Item SCP-622. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. All cans and containers of SCP-622 are to be immediately transferred to Site-16. The formula for SCP-622 must be contained from the public by any means necessary. Any commercial trade of products containing SCP-622 should be documented and preferably intercepted before delivery. Any persons or organizations in possession of SCP-622 are to be taken in for questioning. Handling SCP-622 will require seal-proof gloves, hand lotion, and at least one canteen of water per personnel present. In the event of a containment breach, the immediate area affected by SCP-622 is to be quarantined for no less than 24 hours and hosed down with regular water shortly after. Addendum 622-1. In light of Test 622-1 through 622-3, all future testing of SCP-622 must take place outside of Site-16's air circulation system. Addendum 622-2. SCP-622 is not to be used outside under any circumstances. Additional containment procedures are only available to Security Level 4 personnel and above, as per protocol. Redacted. Description: SCP-622 is the chemical composition, data expunged, also known as, developed by the chemical company under the trade name Desertinacan. SCP-622 was originally marketed as a security aid for large businesses to incapacitate intruders in a similar vein to tear gas or pepper spray. According to chemical company, SCP-622 also doubled as a cleaning agent and insecticide, but due to its hazardous nature, chemical company was shut down in 19 before any more products of this nature could be manufactured. As of there are at least 2 documented cans of Desertinacan remaining, most of which are still in possession and used by the following companies. Redacted. According to the directions, 1 layer of SCP-622 is applied to hallways during a break-in or robbery. When applied, SCP-622 becomes odorless and colorless. Upon application, all moisture in the immediate area is absorbed by SCP-622, creating an easily cleanable salt-like crust over the applied areas, identified to be the compound sodium chloride, NaCl, magnesium sulfate, MgSO4, and 2. When SCP-622 is exposed to organic life, the immediate effects are dehydration, dried eyes, and profuse sweating, which is quickly absorbed by SCP-622. Other effects include a significant drop in blood pressure, increase in heart rate, dizziness, and chills. For more information, see Test Log 622-3.